Hi everyone, it's Shantae. I'm here with my analysis today. I don't have that much. I don't even have an agenda written, but I have some notes that I took. I'm going to be really quick and really brief.
iPhone.
I don't understand why my Alexa is going crazy, but you heard that shit right there. So let me just turn this Alexa off real quick. Nope, I didn't even turn that one on. There we go. Turned my Alexa off. Great job. So here we go. So you know the coronavirus, right? So the new daily numbers. So globally, we have reached 10 million cases. So it's 10,115,912 cases of COVID-19 throughout the whole world, which is 188 countries on the globe. The U.S. cases top 2.5 million. We're almost at 2.6 million. So we at 2,547,621 cases of COVID-19, according to the St. John Hopkins website. In terms of the deaths here in the U.S., we are at 125,804. So we have like the highest deaths across on the globe, and second to us is Brazil. So the other countries with the most cases besides the United States, we have Brazil at 1,344,143. We have Russia at 633,563. We have India at 528,859. We have the UK at 312,640. Now, countries with the least cases, even though their cases are rising, we do have in the Latin countries, the Dominican Republic at 31,373, Panama at 31,686, Honduras at 17,007, Guatemala at 16,397, El Salvador 5,934. In the African countries, have Nigeria at 24,567. So far, I think they're kind of like the most, but I'm not quite as sure. Ghana is at 16,742. Algeria is at 13,273. Cameroon is at 12,592. Senegal is at 6,586. Kenya is at 6,070. In the West Indies, Haiti is at 5,772. That really spiked. I'm pretty sure because the Dominican Republic, which is next to them, has over 30-something thousand cases. So maybe that's trickling and that's happening. Jamaica has 697 cases of COVID. No, 690. The Diamond Princess has 712. Guyana has 290. Trinidad and Tobago has 126. Antigua has 69. Bahamas have 104. St. Vincent has 29 cases. Belize has 24. Grenada still at 23. St. Lucia still at 19. Dominica still at 18. In the states, here in the United States, there are 31 states that see rising cases of COVID-19, and that includes California, Texas, Florida, Arizona, Georgia, Mississippi. Georgia, Michigan, Louisiana, Ohio, Tennessee, South Carolina, Washington State, Colorado, Wisconsin, Iowa, Mississippi. Yep, I was right about Mississippi. Utah, Missouri, Arkansas, Nevada, Kentucky, Kansas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Delaware, Oregon, Idaho, West Virginia, Wyoming, Hawaii, and I believe Montana. So, yeah. Now, cases that has about the same, of course, New York and New Jersey. Most of the northeastern states cases are still the same, but the curve is still flattening. Of course, New York still has the most cases, 397,000 cases and 293, but there are about 70,000 people that have recovered in New York. and the second recovery rate is in New Jersey. But New York, folks, is almost 100,000 people that has recovered from coronavirus. Now, in terms of cases that's rising, California is the second state, so they top New Jersey, about over 50-something thousand cases already. So they have 216,563. Texas have 151,727. Florida has 141,067. Arizona has 73,961. Georgia has 72,800. Places that see new hotspots mostly is in Arizona and Texas. So in Arizona is Yama. Arizona is 5,793 new cases already. Santa Cruz, 1,728, and Texas, Anderson, Texas is 1,116. So with all these numbers that I have read, you can find them in on St. John Hopkins website, or even at the New York Times or the New York or the Washington Post. You can subscribe. You could get, for the Washington Post and New York Times, you can actually subscribe online and get it for free. These cases also come from the John Hopkins website. You can easily go on there. You can, and it goes by county too. So the county that's suffering the most is actually Cook, Illinois, which is near Chicago. And I think the second behind it, I don't know if it's Queens or the Bronx, that has rising cases too. But there's other counties in the United States that see more increasing cases than, New York or New Jersey, or even Cook, Illinois. It's mostly the Trump states that seen cases. I believe Texas today just closed off closed some of their stuff. But speaking of Texas, so the vice president, aka Pence, mishandled the cases, Pence, and along with Dr. Birx and Dr. Ben Carson, who was the head secretary, went down to Dallas, and Secretary Azar went down to Dallas to address the public, and they were sitting with the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott. So Ben Carson's comments kind of caught people's eye, along with Dr. Birx. I'm going to get into Dr. Birx in a minute. But Ben Carson says Greg Abbott is one of the governors who actually pays attention to data. And he said about Dr. Birx is the person I know who works longer and harder than the president, aka New York scam artist Donald Trump. And he also complains people aren't wearing masks or social distancing, but never mentions Donald Trump. I mean, are we shocked? This administration is tone deaf not only to racial tensions, systemic racism, but science and just humanity all over. I mean, this is exactly why I preach, and I always say, wear your mask, wash your hands, stay social distance. I know people who want to see their families, that's fine. But what's more important? Touching them and they getting sick, or staying home and staying distance and seeing them alive until when we get out this again. I saw my father today. My father came down and saw me, but we were social distance. We had our mask on while we was talking. I didn't take off my mask. He kind of slid down his mask while drinking his stuff, but we still had our masks on talking. We don't touch each other. And that's a good thing, because I don't want to make my father sick and he doesn't want to make me sick, which makes sense. I mean, duh, obviously. So that was being said. Dr. Birx also says something about praising Texas, saying that, they had good measures in place, which is all bull. They followed the metrics. Younger people are getting sick. We know young people are getting sick across the South and the West. She says mostly people obese. First of all, it's not people just obese. There are young people with no kind of sickness, no backlog of illnesses, and all of a sudden they got sick with COVID because the disease is airborne. When you're inside of a club and a whole bunch of people with not wearing no mask, more than likely you're going to affect somebody, or you're going to get infected. That's like going to church or going to a mosque and you're not no mask on and you're not social distancing. You're going to get sick. Like, that's just normal. Look at California, how 180 people all of a sudden got sick from being in church. One thing we can say about New York, yes, New York got the most cases, but New York curve is flattening. I haven't seen the fatality rate is still the same. The fatality rate is still at 31,000 overall. It has not changed. It has not changed. We are opening New York City is about to open in phase 3 soon. And we're still opening at 25 to 33% because we don't know. Summer school is not happening, only virtually. No summer youth. So you already know what that looks like. Great job, Bill de Blasio. Could at least have these kids working virtually from home and getting paid. What else? Also, we don't know if schools are going to be open. They might be distance learning, which if it is, that's good because kids don't need to go to school. That's how an outbreak happens. Kids are the germiest creatures in the world. And I'm sorry to say it, but they are. Because they don't know how they going to get sick. They're kids. They're normal. They're just going to do kid things. But not knowing that the pandemic also affects them too. Right? So, hey. Also, Trump and his betrayal, how Trump basically and the Republicans are turning their backs on, because I'm moving into this last topic, just turn their backs on people. Turn their backs on the military. We already have troops dying in Afghanistan because Russia bounties to militants. So they basically trade militants, the US and UK, for money, for power. I don't know what it is. But what we do know is Trump is lying, saying he never gets briefed when he doesn't read his briefings. Overall, this administration is a danger to not just only domestically, but just to the whole entire world. Trump is a traitor. Trump only cares about himself and only. His executive order is meaningless. Don't mean shit. That's why it's important to vote. It's extremely important. And I'm telling everyone right now, I'm telling people who's going to be watching on my post later, please vote. Please vote. Don't matter who you vote for, actually. I would say vote for Joe Biden, but now it's like, doesn't matter who. Please vote. Just vote like you mean it. Because when you don't vote, how can you have a conversation with somebody? How can you voice your complaints if you don't vote? So I'm telling everybody right now, stay informed, stay safe, and let's vote in November till we can get out this mess. Have a good night.